Okay, guys, thank you for joining my live today. I just wanted to hit on a couple of subjects, and we can change the discussion to another topic. But the one thing that um, I wanted to talk about was Breonna Taylor. Uh, Her boyfriend was approached that if he would say that she was part of a drug ring, that they would either lighten his sentence or it would help him. He declined that, and I'm glad he did. But my thing is, they will go. The officials there will try anything to make it look like it was Breonna Taylor's fault, that she brought this upon her own, that them bursting into her apartment was not all that off because she was part of what they were, they went to the wrong place, but she was part of it. She was part of the ring. And so they're trying to justify them doing that. So they'll go at any length to try to involve her in something crooked. And I don't believe at all that she was part of anything. Um, for one, if she was part of that, I imagine she was making a whole lot money than her EMT job, and she probably would have had a house, luxury car, and not even working because EMT is a stressful job. So she probably would have done herself a favor and not go through the mental and physical part of her job and saving lives, guys. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Bottom line, I don't believe it. Like I say, it's just a justification of what they did to her, and they're gonna try anything, and they figure if they can get her boyfriend to say something negative, that will hold a lot of weight, and coming to the conclusion that it is really not the officer's fault. She's really the one at fault for getting herself murdered. Okay, no, not believing it. Also, I just wanted to hit on Miss Robbie, the mother of Tim Norman, the one that murder for hire, that he had his nephew killed for insurance money. Well, Miss Robbie did reach out, and in essence, verbatim, she was just saying she was just too tired, too exhausted. I forget the actual word that they used. That she said, in essence, she was just too weak to discuss it. And oh, I can understand that. It was said that she did go to Mississippi to visit Tim. Now, I'm believing if she went to Mississippi, she probably wanted answers. And guys, we cannot expect her to hate her son. You hate the sin, not the sinner. There's plenty of people who have done things to me, not to that magnitude. What she's going through. No, not that magnitude. But you don't like what they did. But because they may be a relative or a close friend, you don't hate them. And you might not even want to be bothered with them. Uh, but you hate what they did. That's her son. That's her flesh and blood. She may or may not want anything else to do with him, and maybe she does. I don't know, but you know, it's even though she may not ever have communication with him, I believe she still loves him. And she's probably torn because that's her son, and then the person who was murdered was her grandson, whom she grew to love. I don't know how much communication she had with with her grandson before he came to St. Louis. But I imagine she kept up with what he was doing. She may not have been able to visit him as often as she wanted to because, she had the restaurants and everything. And so I could just see her and Andre's mom getting together and saying, okay, for the good of your grandchild and my child, which, he's going a route that I don't want him to go. Would you kind of take him and he can work in the restaurant and you just be his mentor and just I think he'll listen to you, and we can keep him from, going in the route of these gangs or trying to connect or whatever the conversation was. Miss Robbie was called upon to assist, and that's what she did. And right now, of course, she needs our prayer. The mom, Andre's mom, needs our prayers because they're going through stuff that a lot of us don't have a clue with how they would feel. I mean, I think we gravitate number one to Miss Robbie number one because she had her reality show, and so we saw how she helped family and assist people and people that had an arrest felon on their record, and that it was hard for them to get a job. So along with her son, she gave second chances to a lot of felons, a lot of people with a record. She gave second chances. So I think because she was more into the limelight, and then with her being, a backup singer, being one of the Ikettes for the Ike and Tina Turner, people, she's more popular, I would say, and so people kind of gravitate towards her because, she was on TV. When actuality, uh, Andre's mom should also receive some prayer because um, I don't think that even before knowing that her son was murdered by his uncle, uh, it had only been what he died in 2016, and it's been 2020. It's only been 4 years. So she probably still had a hard time, along with Miss Robbie, had a hard time in dealing with the murder of her child. So some of people out there, you probably do know how it feels to lose a child. But then to know their relative set it all up and was in your face every day, yeah. So with her telling the person who contacted her and wanted to see how she was doing and want to discuss it, with her saying, I just can't do it. That's understandable. It hasn't been that long. It has not been that long since all of this has happened, and we can't expect miraculously for her to get over it. It's gonna be a long time before she can come to peace with what's happened, and she may not ever come to peace. Have peace behind it. So she declined to make any statements um, to the media about what she was doing and how she feels about it. Like she said, she's just too weak. God, she's 80 years old. She's 80 years old. So, um, with all the things, because as far as I can see, Sweetie Pie's upper crust is still open and they're doing takeout orders. So she still have businesses to run. Um, it's just kind of changed the way it's done now because they always stay crowded. They always stay crowded. Sometimes there was lines, wrapped around the corner waiting to get in, but now it looks like they're just doing takeout. So she has to keep that running. And she had mentioned before that she had mentioned that it was it was worth it. She wished she had done the restaurant thing earlier, which tells me she probably would have cut her time off shorter from being a I get. But, illness, her lungs, I think, collapsed. Illness caused her to not be able to sing professionally. And then she came up with the idea of restaurants because she used to cook while her, Ike and Tina and Ike Getson and the all the other people that worked, to make the tour successful. She cooked, and she cooked in their room. And I'm thinking she said the reason why they just went on and do that because you gotta remember the time that she was doing that and they still couldn't they still couldn't go a lot of places. A lot of the restaurants and places um, said whites only, and so she just did what she did. So that's basically the two things I wanted to talk about. I just can't imagine. I cannot imagine how she felt, how she feels. Only thing I can do, guys, and is pray for her. Pray for her strength. Pray that she doesn't make herself sick behind this. I mean, she still seemed like she's as far as business is concerned, I think, you know, she probably walks a little slower and do things a little slower, but I believe she can keep them restaurants. So this added thing onto her, I don't even at this particular time, I just think that she's at home and maybe popping up at the restaurant here and there. But I think basically she's at home trying to make sense of all this, trying to process everything. So, and getting back to Brianna, like I said, Brianna Taylor, the length, the length that law enforcement will go through to try to involve Brianna Taylor into something illegal. It just, to me, it makes them look more guilty. It makes them look more guilty. Uh huh. Uh huh. And you know what Taylor was doing that her boyfriend would know about it, but he just said, I'm not gonna, I'm not going to say she was in no drug ring. just to make things easier for me. Now, I don't know whether he got any probation or anything behind whatever they're trying to stick him with, but he wouldn't give in. So I'm glad he didn't throw her under the bus to make things easier for him. Let's see. I had read an article. Let me see if I can get more information. Yeah, I read an article that let me know that they wanted him to imply that she was associated with a drug ring, Breonna Taylor. Yeah, the article read Breonna Taylor ex-boyfriend offered plea deal if he would claim Taylor was part of an organized crime syndicate. Ain't that nothing? Ain't that nothing? His name is let me pronounce it right. Jamarcus Glover. Okay, he went to court and he pled not guilty to drug charges Friday. And it was said that the prosecutors gave him a plea deal to implement Taylor in his alleged crime. So the Jefferson Commonwealth Attorney's Office on July 13th um, offered him a plea deal so he could avoid a 10-year prison sentence and be sentenced to possible probation. He was offered that for leniency to admit that she was a co-defendant. Um, and supposedly, according to the court record, supposedly the crime syndicate sold drugs from an abandoned warehouse and vacant house in Louisville. And Taylor just lived about 10 miles away from that warehouse. So, like the article was stating, he turned down the deal and the attorney representing the Taylor family in the wrongful death lawsuit, they also said the length to which those police department and the Commonwealth attorney will go to trying to paint a picture of who Breonna Taylor was, which was different from who she truly was. It's funny because, them trying to come with whatever excuse, whatever reasons they had to do what they did, you know, it just in a way it just remind me. I was looking at some documentaries on TV and different ones, and the one that stood out, when people, maybe it wasn't, this is me, maybe it wasn't an accident that they went there, you know, it is something else I feel it's something else, and not something else in their minds. And I'm not saying Breonna Taylor did anything, not at all. I'm just saying they had one part of the information wrong, wrong address. So with their with their line of thinking, who's to say they didn't have some more incorrect information? So they knew they knew exactly when they went busting in, they knew exactly what they were doing. They could it be? I mean, just consider they knew that was not the apartment that they were not supposed to go to, but something else. They suspected something else. I can't piece it together. I just feel it's something else that the police department is not saying. It's something else. And I hope that something else is exposed. I really do. I hope that something else is exposed because there's more to it than what they're saying. And who put them up to it if it's something else? Because don't want to, they sure don't want to charge those policemen. Could other names be involved? And they figure, okay, we're not going to prosecute those police because then those police might start talking and expose some more people. I don't know, guys, but it's more to this story. All I know is an innocent woman was killed. And it just seems so ironic that they want the boyfriend, the ex boyfriend, to throw Bianca under the bus by implementing her in criminal activity to make her to make her look bad, to make her look like the person. Okay, everybody knows she was EMT, and everybody knows that according to everybody that knew her, she just would not be involved in anything like that. But they want people to think uh, bad about her so they would look better. Well, actually, Breonna Taylor was this, that, and the other. So, you know, the police had the right to go in there and do what they did. No, no. Try again. That didn't work. That didn't work. Not in my mind. So, guys, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause this conversation and wait till more people come into the chat. Hey, cooking animal. I was going to say cooking with something else because I know somebody else with that. How are with that handle? How are you doing? How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. The electricity went off in my neighborhood, so I'm just a little frustrated because I couldn't turn on the air. I mean, nothing. Luckily, I had charged up my little portable DVD, so I was watching a movie. So it wasn't too bad, and it stayed off for about an hour. So I try to keep my portable DVD player. I try to keep that charged up, and it's probably the heat. Let me know if you're still there. I'm going to put it on mute. Okay, you're still there? Yeah. Earlier, I just was talking about, two things that I just wanted to discuss, but, one being Breonna Taylor's uh, boyfriend. He was approached by the prosecutors to basically throw Breonna Taylor under the bus, try to implement her, implied, maybe the wrong word I use, implied that she was in some type of drug ring, and therefore he would get a more lenient sentence. So, I talked about that earlier. I don't know whether you were in the live, or not, because I was basically on my phone looking at the article. So, how have you been doing? What have you been up to? Okay, guys, I am going to end this live now. It's not enough activity for me to um, continue. I was not going live. I didn't go live Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Swamped and just could not do it. So I thank you guys for the replay that you're going to listen to. I might come on later on. My electricity was off earlier. Uh, and I just thought maybe I'd come on for about a half an hour or so. But anyway, thank you guys who took the time out. Thank you, Cooking Inamo or Inamo. I'm not sure, but thank you for coming in and thank you guys, the ones that were in the bushes. I'm going to end this broadcast and I will see you. I'm going to try to come on later on, but I will see you guys tonight or tomorrow. Thank you. Good night.